Hello again and welcome to Adobe XD Essential Training Episode 3. On the last episode, we already talked about the three major parts on Adobe XD, which are design, prototype, and share mode. For today, I will be talking more about layers. So, let's learn and let's get started. Before you start, please download the asset files that I provided on the description below. So, layers. If you use Photoshop, Illustrator, or some other drawing or imaging application, you are quite familiar with the concept of layers. Therefore, it should come as no surprise there's the layers features built into XD. So when it opens, we're in the design mode, because that's where you're going to get access to the layers. And you will see we've got two artboards here, which are inbox and chat artboard. And now to get at the layers for an artboard, first thing you want to do is to click the layers icon here. So I'll just click it, and you can see that the first thing that's going to ask you is what artboard do you want to look at. And to get at it, what you do is just double click it and there are the layers. So let's take a look at the various bits and pieces found in the layers panel here. When you see a file folder, it tells you that it is group. So you've got a group of objects here in the layer panel. So for example, this T right here tells me it's an text layers. You see, we can change it like that because it's a text layer. And then there's this diamond which says card, and this icon represents a component. I will tell you more about it on our component chapter because they are very complex you can do on components. Now, other things that you can do with the layers is you can move them around. So if you want to move this floating button around, you can just click it and you see that it's a group of button which contain it's a plus icon and a background, the rectangle background. And if you want to move it, just drag it around and there you have it. If you want to put it back, you can always put it back or maybe undo all of your actions. Other things that you can do are right here. These three little icons right here. For this example, these icons tells you you can mark it for exports. So if I want to select the button, like this button, and I want to mark it for an export, you can always click it, or you can tell it to export by clicking the Shift E like that. This means it's going to be marked for the developer to download so they can import our asset at the application or web that they are building. When I export the files, it will be part of the export. This icon here is the lock layers. So if I click it, you can see that it's got a little lock on it. This is great if you don't want something to move, or maybe you don't want somebody having access to a layer, or you don't want to disturb it in any way, shape or form. So you can see here that if I drag it, it doesn't let me to drag anything out of it because it's a lock. It's a lock layer. And to unlock it, you just click it again and it will unlock. You see? Or maybe using the hotkeys that can maximize your productivity. For locking and unlocking, you can always click Ctrl L to lock, which L is stand for lock, and to unlock it, you just press Ctrl L again. Okay, and for this icon, it is for showing or hide a layer. So if I click it, you can show or hide your selected layers. And this is really useful when you've got a very complex artboard with all kinds of elements on it, and you just want to concentrate on a single element, for example. The hotkeys for these features is Ctrl, comma. Alright? Everything that you create goes into a layer. For example, if I put a text up here, you can always add a text, or if you want to use a hotkey, you can always click the T keyboard on the keyboard, and yeah, and place it right here, and it will say it is always following the one that we input a text up. So in case you want to add an additional text, it always follow up with an input that you put in. So you see, another example is if we create an ellipse right here, and for the shortcut for the ellipse is E, and you can see that it's highlighting the ellipse tools, and you can create an ellipse like this, you see. But if you want to make, you see that if I drag it along, you see that the width and the height, for example, if I put it right, the width will be increasing and the height will always stay the same. But if you want to maybe make a synchronized ellipse, you can always hold down the shift button as you drag it, and it doesn't matter if I move it on the down, on the bottom, or the right, it always still in it's synchronized all the way, you see. And you can see that the name of this ellipse is ellipse 29, because XD remembers how many ellipses we put on in this file. But it doesn't matter, you can actually change the layer name by just double clicking it and type on the name for whatever the object is, like user background or something like that. And if you want to delete a layer, you can just select it on the layer panel, or you can select on this design directly. If you already selected, you can always press a delete, and voila, it will delete it. So there you go, we already done working with layers inside of XD. Quite amazing, isn't it? And it will not surprise you to hear that a lot of projects have quite a few layers, and now you know how to manage them. Stay tuned for the next episode. I will be talking about properties panel. It is the most crucial thing that you need in order to design a specific way that you want. So if you don't already subscribe to this channel, make sure to click the subscribe button and the notification icon. Hope you enjoying your weeks, and I'll be talking to you soon on the next one.